CFL Power Rankings here. Coming in as the number 9 team in the league, it has to be the Calgary Stampeders. It just has to be. They looked atrocious last week against Edmonton, and I think for a little bit now, they have looked like the worst team in the league. I think that they are bridging into having the worst quarterback situation in the league, and I think that they, like, defensively, they're not getting the stops they need to. Offensively, they're not protecting, and they're turning the football over, and guys aren't making plays. Nothing about this team is going well right now, and so that is why Calgary comes in at the number 9 spot. Coming in at number 8, it's Hamilton. They've been the worst team all year. Calgary is kind of just renting out their place at number 9, but if we're going to look at overall teams, yeah, it's Hamilton. It's interesting. Hamilton seems to have too many quarterbacks. Calgary doesn't have enough. And Hamilton has a quarterback who is very familiar with the situation out in Calgary. So that would be quite the switch. But yes, toxic, to your point. The glory days of the Stampeders are long gone. It's been a while since we've talked about the Stampeders in this way. And it's something that I was saying on radio in Calgary for a long time. You don't get runs like the Calgary Stampeders had. Even if the Grey Cup wins didn't come in the waves that they should have when this team was so clearly better than everyone else. That was still a run that I don't think people in this city appreciated enough. As someone who cheers for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and in our 100-plus year history, we have 4 Grey Cups. I think people needed to appreciate what happened out here a little bit more with the consistency that they were able to build up. Because now those days are gone. And you're going to have to deal with the shit that everyone else had to deal with. Speaking of Saskatchewan, they're at number 7. I still think they are playing well. It is just some of the things aren't working. And it's not all working together. Offensively, I think the offensive line is a real problem. And some of the players that they thought would be able to step up and make plays haven't. And that, I think, has held them back. Defensively, this team is really, really good. And so if they can make 2 or 3 more plays on offense a week, then this team is right back to where they are. But the schedule is actually pretty tough the rest of the way. And so I think this could be another really frustrating close to the season out in Saskatchewan. At 6, it's Toronto. I kept waiting for this team to turn around with the talent that they have. It's just not happening this year. And so until it does, we have to put them down at number 6. At 5, it's Edmonton. I can deny it no longer. This Edmonton team is good, and they are playing like a good team. So there we go. There's nothing more to say. MBT comes in, and this team starts clicking on offense. Trey Ford comes in, keeps rolling. Defensively, they're getting 100 turnovers a game. Now, they're playing Calgary, so that helps. But there is no denying it anymore. This is a good football team. At 4, it's Winnipeg. I still think there's another level that Zach Collaros can get to. But the Riders did a great job of shutting down Brady Oliveira, and it didn't really slow this offense down a lot. Getting Lawler back is really good, and defensively, this is one of the more underrated groups in the league, and they are showing why they are so talented on a weekly basis here. At 3, it's the Ottawa Red Blacks. That was a big win against Toronto. They kicked the shit out of Toronto. Did they get the split against BC? I kept saying, the wheels are going to fall off this thing at some point because they're only beating the bad teams. They haven't really faced any of the good teams yet. Well, now they're facing the good teams, and they're still beating them. So a huge credit to Ottawa. They're at 3. At 2, it's BC. And it's because it's only been a week, and they had a ways to work their way up. They beat the number 1 team in the land, and that's great for them. They need to do it a little more consistently to move up to number 1, but Nathan Rourke looks back. William Stanback is a beast. And they put up some pretty good numbers against, I think, clearly the best team in the league. And McInnes had an off night. So this is a really well-built BC team, and I think getting Matthew Betts back on the defensive line is really going to help out this defense in a way that it needed desperately. And at number 1, it's Montreal. They have the setback against the BC Lions, but this is still, I think, the most complete team in the league. They do need to get healthier, and they do need to get their guys back, but they have built up such a cushion that I don't think you can knock them out of the number 1 spot for losing just 1 game to the BC Lions. So that's where I come down on that one. So those are your CFL Power Rankings after week 13.